even if that meant she was now too winded to speak. "Lark?" Da asked. She had hoped, had let herself believe, that no matter what trouble Galin might have found, he would somehow make his way back to this marker to wait for her. But if he could have made it this far, he would have returned all the way home. Wouldn't he? "Where are you, Galin? What happened?" she murmured. "Lark, we need to hear every detail you remember," Ma urged. "Perhaps there's a clue we've missed." Lark had snuck out the night before to watch the stampede of human and fae hunters, never expecting to witness her brother's last ride. Guilt and sorrow stuck in her throat like day-old oat bran mush. "First, there was a rush of wind," she said, frowning at a single red toadstool near the base of the waymarker. Then the pale glow of the white stag, bounding along the border, guiding the hunters, and the rumble of hooves galloping after him. The image was burned in Lark's mind, a full moon casting silver-rimmed shadows, the surging tide of black shadow-bred horses breathing sparkling mist from flared nostrils, racing hounds baying in full song, birds filling the night sky, fae hunters in cloaks woven of spider webs and starlight. And the lead rider, wearing a flame-bright crimson cloak, a golden vest, and a circlet of blazing autumn leaves upon his head. The Harvest King in all his glory, looking right at her. Lark recalled shrinking back, afraid of getting in trouble. She should have been tucked safely in bed beneath a quilt, embroidered with protective sigils and lucky symbols. Wild hunt nights were full of magic and chaos, even for those who weren't hunters. But curiosity had tugged her outside. Her sister, Sage, was riding the hunt along with Galin that night, and Lark had wanted to see them both. So she slipped from her house and skimmed up the path, past the stable, around the orchard, through the woods, and here to the closest waymarker. She never expected the Harvest King himself to notice her. Fear curled her toes against the cold ground, but he'd smiled kindly and raised a hand in greeting. In that moment of distraction, a tangle of brambles and thorns burst from the ground beneath him. Lark now told her parents how vines as thick as her arms erupted like snakes, wriggling and twisting around the legs of the king's magnificent shadowbred. Finger-long thorns ripped into the horse's sleek black coat, raking trails of red and silver blood. The shadowbred shrieked and turned to smoke, throwing the Harvest King from his back. "I screamed," Lark admitted. "And then suddenly Galin was there, riding up on Whimsy." He leaned over, reached out, and gripped the king's hand. Galin pulled the Harvest King up behind his saddle, and they raced past the brambles. "Who else did you see? How did the other fae react?" Da asked, worry puckering his brow. "There was a beautiful fae riding beside Galin, with shining sun-gold hair. She smiled at him when he rescued the king, but I lost sight of them as they rounded the curve of the hills. Sage followed a few minutes later, so I waved to her and ran back to the house. That's all I know. Do you think Galin is still with the king? Maybe he'll be celebrated as a hero and escorted back with honors. We should go see if..." But it was clear from her parents' expressions that they didn't share her excitement. "All the other hunters returned as expected," Da mused. "No major injuries. I can't understand why Galin wasn't with them. He's always been a courteous boy. Perhaps he stayed a bit longer to offer comfort after the loss of the king's shadowbred. Though I don't see any thorns or..."